Daniel, congratulations and welcome to News Breakfast.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
So just talk me through that moment last night at the ceremony when they called out your name, you went up to the stage. How did it all feel?
It was complete and utter shock and disbelief. I really didn't think that we would be successful, but it was an absolute honour. I felt so proud, I felt so honoured, but more than anything I really felt the weight of the responsibility. We are advocating for 116,000 people experiencing homelessness who have difficulty accessing healthcare. And so I recognise that the next year will be a busy year for me, trying to do as much as I can to ensure that our service can grow nationwide so we can access as many people as possible.
Well, truly busy, Daniel, because you are still a full-time doctor at Royal North Shore Hospital. You're 26 years old.
Yes.
You only started this in 2020. What motivated you in the first place?
Look, a few things, but really there was one catalyst. I was doing an overseas elective in London as a final year medical student, and I walked out of a train station after a shift and initially thought that potentially it was a busker. There were people surrounding one person, but turned out to in fact be a gentleman who was having a seizure. I learned that he was homeless, and after doing my ABCs keeping him stable and the paramedics took him away, I had a chat to some of his friends who were also experiencing homelessness. And they explained to me that this person was having seizures for many months, but it often occurred a few streets away in an alleyway where not so many people saw. And when I asked why he hadn't gone and seen a general practitioner or the emergency department or a doctor, they laughed at me. And exploring that further, I learned that they had a general sense that the healthcare system cared less for them than any other average person in society. And many of them faced medical conditions that they self-managed. And exploring that further, I learned that they felt judged, they had fear that they would, not be taken seriously, or worse, that we as doctors didn't care enough for them. And so I came back to Sydney, I did my research, and I learned that we have the best healthcare system in the world, but we also have a number of significant and challenging barriers which limits access to that healthcare. And as a result of limiting access to healthcare, health outcomes are so much worse. And as I said in my speech yesterday, it kills me to see people who are 40, 50 years old living with heart failure on the streets, a condition that we can treat and manage, who die of it. I've seen 20-year-olds, 29-year-olds with type 1 diabetes that can be treated, and they're not treating it because they can't afford it. Or people living with maggots in their wounds. And the list goes on. The conditions are really, really serious out there. And people are living and suffering in silence on the streets. And so it was about time that we changed the way that we do healthcare for them. The notion that patients should come to our brick and mortar structures needed to change. And now we're taking the service to them. We're taking the doctors, we're taking the equipment. And I really want to take this nationwide. So anyone listening across the country, we need your help, especially if you're a general practitioner, a doctor or a corporate sponsor. We need some help.
Well, now you've got a position that enables you to have that national audience. Daniel Nour, you said last night that passions and interests are sometimes not what you choose, they choose you, and I can understand why that moment in the UK sent you on this journey. Congratulations from all of us, and thank you so much for coming on the program. We're going to check back in with you through the year, I reckon, and see how it's all going. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.